Hello YouTube, welcome to another one of my Duel videos. Today I have for you another counter fairy deck, but this time I win 30 cards. And I'll go into a little bit of detail of why I did that. But first I want to talk about Voltanis the Adjudicator. This is a new card that was, support for the counter fairy. And unfortunately, it didn't work out too well for me. I only had 2 of them, and the deck just kept on getting better as I was taking them off. So I left just one, just in case in a 30 card deck. You're probably not going to see it that much. But the problem that I saw with this card is that, especially the way I'm running deck, I'm using balance. So if I got it to start with balance and no other monster, that was pretty much a duel that I was going to lose. Anytime you use counter fairies, because of cards like Divine Wrath and Ultimate Providence, you're always going to be like back on resources. So you're trying to end the duel before you run out of resources, and sometimes drawing into Voltanis is just really bad mid to late game. Like there was a duel that you'll see today where I had game. Well, I didn't have game. I would have had game if I drew into any monsters, but I drew into my Voltanis. And if you draw into Voltanis and you don't have your counter trap card already, then you're just gonna need at least one more turn to get the counter trap. And then if on top of that it's a counter trap like Divine Wrath or Ultimate Providence that requires a card, you're gonna have to wait another turn to to be able to use it and try to get the effect off. So it didn't really work too well for me. You actually won't see it in any of the clips today, and that's also why I'm a little upset at the time of recording this video. I played this deck yesterday. I had all the replays done, and I just didn't record it because I didn't have time. And when I got ready to record it today, it's like, oh, my replays are gone. I guess after maintenance you lose all your replays. I was totally unaware of that. So full disclosure, the replays you're going to see today are not all that. But I really wanted to record the video and show the deck. The reason why I went with 30 cards is because every time I tried to make the deck work with 20 cards, you're using balance, right? So you have to do either 8 monsters or 6 monsters, and then you'll do the opposite of the traps, because your spells, you'll keep that at 6. Spells is really easy. 3 Sanctuary of the Sky, and then 3 other spells. But you have to decide, do I go with traps or do I go with monsters? Then you go into a problem or run out of monsters, or you run out of traps. And also, when you're when you're sticking to 20 cards, it's like, okay, do I have to run 8 counter traps, 6 counter traps, and 2 defensive traps? Like, what the ratio was just really hard. And when I expanded it to 30, the deck just worked a lot better, because now I have 2 econs to protect myself. I have 1 Offerings to the Doom. I have double mage power, which is gonna let me put a beefy monster on the field that my opponent can just simply will get over it with attack. We have 2 Widespread Ruins, 1 Wall of Disruption, and the deck overall functioned a lot better in my opinion. But that's the basic build. Counter traps, Magic Drain. I threw in 1 Harvest Angel of Wisdom. This used to be a second Voltanis, but as I said, I cut it because I wasn't getting enough value. And I didn't want to go 3 Serradius, because if I don't have the Sanctuary of the Sky, you can't even summon it. So this ratio was working out for me with balance. Let's go ahead and show you some replays. Wow, I feel like my deck explanation was quicker than it usually is, so we're getting back into the groove of recording videos. That's why I want to record this, even though the replays were not so great, because I want to get back to trying to put out a video every day, or at least 1 every 2 days, because I know I haven't been really good about that for various situations. We're going up against Life Point Boost Alpha Joey, and we have an okay starting can. I have mage power, so I don't feel the need to use the enemy controller. Oh wow, I just noticed that the name flashes every time it's someone's turn. That's really cool. So we're going up against aliens, so I feel good about my Magic Drain. I'm waiting for the recon. However, he snipes away the Magic Drain and decides to go for game. But the good thing is that he had to get rid of one of the counters, to destroy my trap. So after I use the econ, the counters is going to go away, and I'm gonna get my monster back. So I set the, and this is what I was talking about. Look, I have Voltanis in hand, but I need to discard a card to use Ultimate Providence. So I would have to wait another turn to try to resolve the Voltanis. Instead, I'm just gonna, you know, try to negate an effect if I need to. We're gonna see the Evil Dragon Ananta. So there's where our Ultimate Providence is gonna come in clutch. Get that out of there. I get to draw a card. Top deck a monster and a spell and trap. So I'm gonna have just enough attack to finish this man off in one shot. Wow, this is so cool, man. Look at that. I love it. Even though I'm still salty about losing all of my previous replays where I was just smacking for hires. Also, another thing that made me kind of mad, but we'll get into that in the third duel. There's a replay that is not a good replay, but I saved it just so I can do a mini rant as the replay is going on. So here we got a Yami Yugi, another 30 card deck. So we're both running 30 cards. I don't know if he was using grass. I didn't actually check the deck afterwards. But he's got a beefy 2850 monster, Evil Swarm Salamandra. But I do him one better. 3100 Bountiful Artemis. So he goes for the Armor B. I go ahead and again, you know, same problem that I was telling you. You just don't have enough cards. Yeah, I could have kept my Divine Punishment. But I always want to set my Divine Punishment, even if I don't have Sanctuary of the Sky, because I'm running 5 Sanctuaries, you know, 3 spells and the 2 monsters that can search it. So I want to have this live as soon as possible. That's why I didn't keep it in hand. And, you know, instead I just got rid of the Voltanis. Get rid of the Armor B, draw 1, get a second Mage Power. But because this card was activatable the whole time, I didn't, you know, just equip the Mage Power and try to go for game. I instead set the Ultimate Providence for the potential negation of a spell, like enemy controller or something like that. He summons Amazon Swordswoman, but I have just enough attack to get over it. And with my second monster, I finish the duel. And that's what the deck wants to do. You know, the deck wants to break your opponent's initial play and hope that you can deal enough damage you know, before they recover or they draw into more resources. But this is the duel that I'm gonna go on a little rant about. I was trying to get replays, I was trying to get good gameplay to show this deck, and I ran into like 3 of this decks in a row. And this is the deck that people use to suicide so they can farm for skills. And people ruin casual dueling because of this deck. So when I saw this in ranked, it really made me mad. And I was like, okay, you want to kill yourself? I'm going to do everything I can to prevent you from doing so. So it's gonna be a long one. But that's why I saved it, because hopefully I can discourage some of those people, if they watch this video, to do this in rank. Go to casual dueling. Casual duels, they're already doing that. So the only way this deck can actually kill themselves is with Destruction of Destiny, because this is the only card that will let them deal damage to themselves. The other cards, they have to pay life points, so they won't be able to pay until they die. So my whole strategy is to negate Destruction of Destiny. We negate the first one, draw 1, and I kill my own. I kill my own Bountiful Artemis because I don't want to kill this man. He's trying to farm, so I'm going to waste his time as much as he's wasting mine. So I'm killing my own monster. He goes for the second Destruction of Destiny. I negate that as well. And from this point on, I'm just stalling. I could finish him at any point, but like I said, I'm wasting his time. I don't understand why people do this in rank. In casual, I kind of get it. Not a lot of people were playing casual anyway. But then once you were able to skill farm in PvP, then people just started playing these suicide decks to farm skills. But it was a bad day for me to run into this decks. I know some of you are probably like, hey man, they're free wins. But I wasn't going for the wins. I was going for the gameplay, boys, because I'm trying to show you some quality gameplay. And look at this, I know he's gonna deck out before I do, And that's all I'm waiting on. I'm waiting for him to deck out. And I'm completely fine with, you know, he tries to kill himself with Summoning Curse, but it's a pay or destroy, so he can't do that. And at this point, I know he probably doesn't have anything to kill himself, so I can just wait and, you know, deck him out entirely. 2 more turns. And once I see that, you know, he's decking out, I decide to just go for the disrespect. And not only do I deck him out, but I farm this boy, negate my own Sanctuary of the Sky, so I can open up space for double mage power. And hit the boy for 5600 to the face. Quit wasting my time. Go farm skills somewhere else. Do it like we used to do it, old school. Farm legendary duelist. Alright, sorry about that mini rant. Now we can move on to I believe this was a for hire matchup. It's so funny, like I was asking for hire matchups and I kept getting those suicide free wins. I was tilted.
Duel.
2 monsters, 1 spell, 1 trap, always a good ratio. And then I top deck Divine Punishment. So I'm feeling pretty good. Go ahead and destroy this. We're gonna see that it's for hires. And of course they have Mayhem for hire. So he goes for the Dompa. And this is where for hire players really make me mad. It's like you're playing this deck and it's all you're playing. It's all they're playing and they can't even learn the deck. I negate the Donpa. I negate the effect, not the activation. So what does he do? He summons another Donpa and tries to activate the effect. Like he can do that. Unfortunately for me, he does have Widespread Ruins, so I don't get to finish him there. And I'm holding on to dear life because I'm out of counter traps. And this is what I'm talking about. I mean, to be fair, he had the Wall Disruption. But let's say that wasn't Wall Disruption. If I had another monster, I could have dealt more damage, gone for game. Instead, I just kind of brick into Voltanis. Just kind of showing up at awkward times. He's gonna top deck Mayhem for hire. Makes another misplay in my opinion by destroying the monster and keeping the field spell because I'm 1 Divine Punishment away from, you know, ending this man's career. So he's gonna banish my stuff. He goes for the beatdown. I have the Widespread Ruins, so he's down to Dompa. I just have to top deck a monster, which I do. And then we see the scoop face. But yeah, good duel for me, I guess. And then this last duel, my opponent was kind of memeing, so it's pretty easy win for me. He was running Ancient Gear Golems, and I think he was trying to go for the big boy fusion and just OTK me. So once I kind of knew that you know he wasn't gonna play aggressive, I kind of just sat and waited for my traps. Once again, 2 monsters, but you know this is just a field spell. So I go ahead and thin the deck, get my field spell out. And this is always a good bluff because if your opponent sees the Sanctuary of the Sky and 2 set, they're gonna expect you to have Divine Punishment. Even though I don't right here, but I have Ultimate Providence and an enemy controller, which should be good enough. I go ahead and set everything, hoping that I can maybe negate a spell with my Magic Drain. He decides not to attack, and that saved my econ, so I can use it right here. I'm going to negate the Pulse Mines, so I can draw a card. That's kind of why I did that. I get rid of his monster. Fortunately, I can't set my enemy controller. But he never suicides with his Ancient Gear Golem. I mean, his Ancient Gear Soldier. And that's how, you know, that kind of told me what his end game was. It's just, he's trying to have enough gear, Ancient Gear monsters so he can fuse. I pick up my Mage Power, unfortunately for him, and you know, I got a 36 beater on the field. We see the poly, so I go Magic Drain. Does not have another spell because all he has is the Ancient Gears. Sets another Ancient Gear, and now I'm just, you know, if he were to summon the monster, I have Offerings to the Doom. But I'm not picking up another monster, so the duel kind of goes on for a while. He finally gets Ancient Gear Golem. I'm gonna let the animation go through. Unlucky for him though, his 3000 monster pales in comparison to my 36 beater. I showed him the offerings to the Doom just to let him know he never had any chance. Megalo. And then I hit him for 56 to the face. That is, if you want to farm in ranked PvP, that is how you do it, kids. You hit your opponent with over 5000 damage, collect your rewards. I got like 6 skills. Here, I'm actually going to show you, so that you guys don't think that I'm lying. I got so many skills while playing this deck. Without suicide. Look at that. Life boom boost. Look at that. Look at all these skills. I didn't have this many skills when I started. So please don't farm in ranked PvP. Ranked PvP is already a drag as it is, because it's all for hires or random stuff. So do not make it worse. That's kind of my message. And yeah, this is the deck. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching. As always, like, comment, and subscribe if you want. Join my Discord if you haven't. The link will be down in the description. Along with my PayPal link if you guys want to support my channel, support my content. I really appreciate it. Also, check out my store if you would like any Jinso merch. I think it's cool. Definitely check it out. And yeah, till next time.